that bless them as they cherished me in childhood. Means even if your parents get old, you cannot say a word of contempt. You can't even do oof to them. The Quran says in Surah Anam, chapter 6, verse 151, that be good to your parents. The Quran says in Surah Luqman, chapter 31, verse number 14, that we have enjoined on the human beings to be kind to the parents. In travail upon travail did your mother bore you, and in years twain was your weaning. The Quran says in Surah Aqaf, chapter 46, verse number 15, we have enjoined on the human beings to be good to the parents. In pain did the mother bore you, and in pain did she give you birth. Our beloved Prophet said, it's mentioned in Ibn Majah as well as the hadith of Ahmad, that paradise lies beneath the feet of your mother. That doesn't mean that if my mother is walking on muck and filth, that thing becomes paradise. What it means, that if you love your mother, if you respect your mother, if you're good to your mother, you will, inshallah, God willing, go to paradise. And our Prophet said, it's mentioned in Sahih Bukhari, volume number 8, in the book of Adab, book of manners, chapter number 2, hadith number 2, that a man came to the Prophet and asked him that who deserves the maximum love and companionship in this world? And the Prophet said, your mother. The man asked, who's next? The Prophet said, your mother. The man asked the third time, who's next? And the Prophet said, your mother. The man asked, after that who? Then the Prophet said, your father. That means when it comes to love and companionship to the parents, according to the hadith of the beloved Prophet, 75% goes to the mother, 25% goes to the father, 3/4 goes to the mother, and 1/4 goes to the father. In short, the mother gets the gold medal, she gets the silver medal, as well as the bronze medal. The father has to be satisfied with the mere consolation prize. In Islam, after a person dies, the inheritance is given in the family according to the laws laid down by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is mentioned in Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 11 and 12, that as to the inheritance of children, the males, they get double the share of the female. That means the son gets double the share of the daughter. If only one daughter, she gets half. If two or more, they share in a 2/3. As to the parents, each get 1/6. If no children, then the mother gets 1/3 after paying off the debts. Verse number 12 of Surah Nisa says, as in what your wives leave for you, you get a half if there are no children. You get a quarter if there are children. As for what you leave for your wives, the wives get 1/4 if there are no children, and 1/8 if there are children. And there are people who take objection that, why do the women always inherit half the share of the men in the family? That's not always true, as I mentioned. Where it comes to parents, both get equal if there are children. And if there are no children, and if suppose there is a lady who dies and she has no children, then the husband gets half, the father gets 1/6, and the mother gets 1/3. That means the mother inherits double than that of the father. The mother inherits double than that of the father. So there are cases in which women do get double also, but I do agree in most of the cases they get half. And the reason is that since the financial burden is laid on the shoulder of the man in Islam, Almighty God does not want to put an extra burden on the male. For example, if after giving the shares of a person who has died, a person dies, and after giving the shares to all the relatives, suppose 150,000 pounds are remaining for the children, and he has one son and one daughter. The son will get 100,000 pounds, and the daughter will get 50,000 pounds. But would you prefer inheriting 100,000 pounds and spending maybe 80 or 90,000 pounds on your family and on your relatives, or would you prefer inheriting 50,000 pounds and keeping all for yourself? You need not even spend a single pound on your clothing. That's the duty of the man in the family. So, but natural, even in inheritance, the woman actually overall is on a much better level. I would like to end my talk by giving the quotation of the glorious Quran from Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, verse number 135, that, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, O you believe, stand out firmly for justice